Choco churro turtle chips.
Choco turtle. Choco turtle. I can't even get past. Can't even get the turtle. Again, another episode of 20 Questions. Today, I am very happy to bring on a guest all the way from out sunny California, out in the LA area, a man known to pierce through objections, through obstacles, through barriers. Mr. Sean Pierce. How are you doing today, Sean?
Wow, that was beautiful. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here, Brian. Yeah, very excited to get into this. Let's go.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for carving out the time, being flexible, and coming on. So
Yeah,
the way that this goes is, we start off with the basics. What's your name? What do you do? And then we get into 10 questions. After those 10 questions are answered, we get into where you give me 10 numbers. These numbers are your choice. They can range from 1 all the way up to actually 137. These numbers then will correlate to another question. That question can either be a kind of work hard or play hard, or something more serious as, who's the most important person in your life at this moment. So the goal is just to have fun with it. And yeah, do you have any questions for me? This is the one time you get to ask me a question before we start. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, man. I think we're good.
All right. So
how are you doing today? That's my question to you.
I'm doing fantastic. It's not have a good day and make it a great day, right? So making it a great day.
Like it. Love it, man. Let's go.
All right, so let's start off with the easiest one. What's one of the first things you learned, probably growing up is, what is your name?
It is Sean Pierce. That's my name.
All right, I was worried there. There was a little.
Yeah.
It's all right.
This is gonna be tough, man.
It's gonna be tough. All right. So Sean, I mentioned you pierced through obstacles, barriers. And in saying that, what do you do then? What is it you do?
So my job is to help people, basically help negotiate win-win scenarios for everybody. I'm a realtor, and so a big part of that is just helping people reach their goals. And so, yeah, I help people pierce through the barriers that are keeping them from those goals and help them get there. Excellent.
And so you mentioned, you said there that you're a realtor. And what area do you service specifically? I know I said you were out in sunny California, and California is huge.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is also huge. If we wanted to pinpoint, I'm more in the South Bay area on the beach cities. I've been here my whole life. This is where I grew up. And so, yeah, this is an area that I'm well acquainted with. And yeah, so this is mostly the area. But basically, I mean, I've helped people out as far south as San Diego. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Again, like you said, your goal is to help. So you'll probably go only so far, obviously, but you're willing to travel.
Yeah, so, exactly. It depends.
Yes. With that said, then let's dive into this. The first 10 questions here. Question number 1, Sean, what do you feel passionate about?
Okay. So I really don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I really am passionate about helping people. But let me get into more of the reason behind that. I guess more of my story.
Sure.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the people that have been in my life that have helped me reach this point. So I see and know the value of mentors. and how much of a difference they can make in someone's life. Because it wasn't until I met the right people that I was actually able to take a hold of my life and take charge of it. So having that experience, that's what I want to be able to provide for other people. Real estate is a way for me to get into that. It's just a tool that I can utilize, that knowledge that I can utilize to help bring people up to a certain level. So yeah, something I like to say is I'll stand on the shoulders of giants until my feet reach the ground. So, and then
all right, nice.
Once I'm there, I'll be the shoulder for the next person to stand up on.
Excellent. Good intentions. Good thing to be passionate about. That's for sure. So with that, we go into question 2. What do you feel, and I feel like this is going to relate to, your passion here, but what do you feel is your best quality, as an individual that is a realtor, that really helps you help your clients?
I think, so I used to be a teacher actually for a period of time before this, obviously. I actually worked with special needs children. And so I think something that I bring to the table is a level of patience and education.
That's definitely needed.
I'm not here to be a pushy salesman or anything. I'm here to make sure that the people I'm working with know what they're getting into, and that they feel comfortable throughout the situation. So also being someone who studied psychology, I'm very aware of like the mindset going into it and how stressful of a situation this can be. So
sure.
So it's that awareness that I try to bring to my business.
That's good. And it's definitely needed in the real estate process, and especially if it's a new home buyer, they have it's a very emotional process.
Yes,
so I'm sure your clients appreciate that touch. So with number 3 now here, what has been the best piece of advice you've ever received? But more importantly, how are you applying it in your life?
I've gotten a lot of great advice from people I know personally and people I've never met. I'm sure you have as well. But actually, something that sounds, I don't know, maybe kind of silly. Something that stands out to me is back when after I graduated college, I kind of hit a bit of a slump actually for about half a year. I was unemployed. I was just living at home, and I thought at the time that I was, enjoying, the longest summer break ever. But it turns out, looking back on it, that I was depressed.
Sure.
And I didn't have anything going for my life. I didn't have anything. And it wasn't until this one day, I was just hanging out with a couple friends, and we were going about some ideas of things that I could do or should do. And I realized, now looking back on it, that a big problem I had was living my life for other people and feeling like I was in the passenger seat, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so I would always, listen to people's suggestions and be like, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that, whether or not that was actually what I deep down wanted. So what happened was the piece of advice, my friend just after suggesting a couple things, he just bluntly said, or, do whatever you want. You're in the director's seat. Funny enough, I was actually in a director's chair because a friend of mine is a writer in Hollywood. And so he had one. And so it just worked perfectly. And at that moment, I guess I was at the right stage of my life. where that made me realize for the first time, like, oh my God, I actually am in the
That you could take
director's
the
chair,
wheel and you can,
that I could take the wheel.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly.
Interesting. Good. Well, and again, it's one of those things that it's, I've noticed through doing, these, that you can hear advice and it could be the same thing you hear for 25 years, but it doesn't matter until it clicks with you. And then it becomes that best piece of advice of your life. And so you have to be receptive to that, and so, yeah, it happened at the right time for you. Thankfully it happened, earlier in your life, and you're not, 75 years old and looking back and wondering what should I have done. And then you got the message. So onward and
Yeah.
upward, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's so true. It just goes to show exactly like what you were saying, that there's a big difference between knowing and understanding.
There's a good line in an old movie that I used to watch a lot as a kid. White man can't jump. I don't know if that tells you about my child. And there's a line where Wesley Snipes goes to Woody Harrelson and says, see, you like Jimi Hendrix, nice. See, you're hearing Jimmy, but you're not listening to Jimmy. And there's a lot of truth to what we do with what people say to us. We hear them, but we're not listening to them. So yeah, I've always remembered that for some reason. But so no, that's excellent, and glad that you found your path. And so with that, this kind of goes into that. What has been your greatest success so far with your business to date? And it's one of those where, quite frankly, starting a business is a success in its own. So many people don't even do that. To what you were saying, they don't live for their own. So just curious, yeah, what has been your biggest success?
Yeah, that's a good point, by the way. Just getting it started is, I think something that I forget to kind of pat myself on the back every now and then. I have to, I think sometimes we can be a little hard on ourselves.
We're always the hardest, our harshest critics.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, really what it comes down to, the thing that I'm the most proud of is, so far, is my networking ability. I've been able to connect with some really incredible people. You being one of them. But so many people within our team, outside of our team, just within the company, or even outside of the company. All these people are added, tools.
100%.
Essentially, there's so much more that you can do with the right people behind you and the right people next to you. And so even if it's something that I can't help with personally, I love that I have the ability to connect someone with the person that they're looking for. Yeah. And the more people I branch out with and meet, the more I can be that connector.
No, that's awesome, and very true. And a lot.
Yeah, I think that's.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's just something I'm the most proud of in this business so far.
Yeah, no, I was going to agree with you and compliment that. There's a big factor of a word that comes to mind when I think about what you said there and what it will do for your business, and that word is longevity. Networking is a huge aspect of life that people don't realize. You can't do everything alone. And so by having that, as recognizing it as one of your strengths and knowing it and being proud of it, it's going to bring that longevity to your business, So kudos for you, sir. I'm glad to be a partner in this business with you, and love watching the rise. So So with that, we're gonna
Likewise.
keep progressing to number 5 now. Now, I'm searching for nothing specific in your business, but more about you, the individual here. What would you like to learn the most and why? You want to learn to knit, why? You want to learn that kind of thing. Like what would you like to learn the most and why? And this is take away the aspect and restrictions of time and money and everything else. But what's something that you would like to learn and why?
Huh. I actually, something that's on my bucket list is I want to learn how to fly something.
Okay.
Helicopters are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I often think like if I were to have joined, some branch of the military or something, it would have been the Air Force. And part of me kind of wishes I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that VA loan, you'd be like our buddy Brock and be able to rock some houses.
Exactly. So yeah, flying a helicopter I think would be awesome. At some point I'd love to fly a jet too.
But okay, all right.
Just feel those G's.
Why flight? Because that's the key there is actually you specifically would want to learn to fly. Why would you want to learn to fly? Is it just that whole human aspect of, you were a little Shawnee looking up in the sky, watching birds fly. I want to be one of those. Is it something in that inherent root, or is it the freedom part? Like what draws you to flying? Because some people are scared to just get on a plane.
Yeah. And, it's funny too, because when I was younger, I hated going on planes too. It's only recently that I've actually warmed up to it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think part of it is the freedom. I also I love the clarity that a new viewpoint can bring you.
Okay. Interesting.
So being able to reach like a new height. I love our world. I love nature and stuff like that. And being able to see it from high up is one of my favorite things. So if I were able to control that also and just
of the earth, because we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, the earth is all flat, so.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid.
I'm joking.
No, I know you are. This conversation would be over.
It's like, all right, well, hey, nice having you.
Exactly. But no, I get your point. That freedom, and then to your point, I like that the vision of no obstacles also in your way, that to really ultimate horizon in front of you.
Yeah. It just looks peaceful.
Yeah, no, I like it. Give it a try. That's all I gotta say. Don't make it a bucket list.
All right.
Give it a try. That's where just a little advice. You throw that out there, and you throw that in with. I thought I saw stuff on Groupon, and a family member eventually will end up getting you a lesson or two for something like that. I just did it for scuba diving, and my birthday, and sure enough, I got scuba diving lessons from a Groupon for it. So it's one of those, throw it out in the universe, mention it and everything else. And Groupon is a great friend to do that for you. So I'd love to partner up Groupon if you ever watch one of these as well. But hey, we never even tried opportunity. But let's get it back to into the questions here. I got number 6 coming up for you. This is an interesting one. And I think you're going to have some good insight. What simple change can someone make in their life that would be the biggest positive impact? And I always stress simple doesn't mean easy. Simple can be as simple as waking up an hour earlier than you used to.
I think the best answer I have to that kind of relates to something that someone that we both know of very well is Earl Nightingale. He says that man's biggest problem is that they don't think. And I see great value in taking time to be still and just be within your thought. Call it meditation. I do. I don't meditate as much as I should, but it's something I definitely do enjoy doing. But I mean, even anything can be a form of meditation. Like you can consider driving meditation if you let yourself go into thought. Anyway, I think actually,
It sounds like
I
being
think
present.
that thinking is a great thing.
Yeah, being present.
Yeah,
Sounds like that's I don't want to take the words out
exactly.
of your mouth.
I've met many people that have they don't know what they want because they haven't taken the time to think about what they want.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. No, good answer. Good answer. Well, this kind of dovetails into that nicely. Then is with that being said, what is more important in your life than work? We as entrepreneurs have a notation of being workaholics and being one in the same of you're starting a business, that is your life, that is the most important thing. But I personally believe you need other things to be whole. So I'm kind of curious, what's more important to you than your work?
I'm just going to go ahead and say family, and family being not in the, I guess, normal sense.
Traditional sense, sure.
Yeah, traditional sense. I strongly believe that you get to pick your family. And that's, not to say that I have a bad family or anything.
Yeah.
But just to extend that out to also just the people and relationships that I have in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel very fortunate to be surrounded by so many great people. And so those relationships are really the most important thing to me. Friends that I've had since high school.
Yeah.
Even I have one of my friends I've known since second grade.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And so it's those relationships that are just
they're more important than work. Work can crumble. Our society, what we think of economics and everything else, can crumble away. But if those people are there, you're going to be good to go.
Right. I mean, if I had to, being like the most successful realtor meant sacrificing and losing all of those relationships, I would not do it.
Good answer. Good. All right. Well, then that'll bring us to number 8. If you could live your life again, I know we're not old here. We got many more years ahead of us. But so far, if you could live your life again, knowing what you do now, what would you change? And I'm not looking for I would have bought this instead, or I would have invested,
Right.
in Bitcoin, like everyone is easy to say, the whole hindsight 2020 aspect. But yeah, if you could live your life again, knowing what you do now, what would you change?
That's a question where it's like, if you actually focus on that kind of thinking, I don't think it would be productive at all. Because really in life, you're never gonna know everything. You're never gonna know it all. And it's something advice my mom has always told me is that, like, she said, oh, when you're in your 20s, you're going to think you have everything figured out. And then when you're in your 30s, you're going to go, oh no, I didn't know anything in my 20s. Now I have it all figured out. And then in your 40s, it's just going to keep happening down the line. So if you keep focusing on, things that you would have done differently, knowing what you know now, you're never going to be happy or able to be in the moment.
Correct.
To then work on what's going on. So, of course I made mistakes. I'm definitely not perfect, but those mistakes helped me get to where I am right now and helped me learn the lessons that I know now.
Sure.
If it weren't for those mistakes, I wouldn't know that know what I know now.
Yeah. You had to go through it.
So exactly. I mean, if anything, if I could go back and like give myself advice, it would have been to, try to help earlier Sean understand that I am in control of my life at an earlier age.
Yeah.
But once again, like we were saying, sometimes you just need to be at the right stage of your life to hear that, to understand it.
100%. 100%. No, good answer. All right. Well, we're getting down to it, and then we're getting to the rapid fire. So we got 2 more questions here of the 10.
All right.
Number 9 is an interesting question that I don't think most people get asked, and I really think most people should get asked this. It's the opposite of what's the best advice. What has been the worst piece of advice you have ever gotten, but why did it become the worst piece of advice? Because someone obviously thought it was good advice. That's why they wouldn't be giving it. But why was it the worst piece of advice you ever received?
This is one I kind of struggle with because I feel like I've gotten some pretty good advice in my life. I think what it kind of comes down to is not so much advice, but, and I can't blame people for this, but when people in my life have been, I guess, cautious for me.
Sure.
Like if I wanted to take a risk and go into something, people have, I think that, they're looking out for my best interest when they say, hey, be careful, and
you can argue though, you can argue that, are they looking out for your best interest though at the same time? There's with no risk is no reward. Greater the risk, greater the reward.
True. Yeah.
And Mr. Psychology, are they for their own interest by keeping you safe to keep their fears at bay and not?
Yeah, maybe.
So interesting though that you do say that. Well, the reason I bring that up is because that seems to be the theme that I'm getting with this answer is really the aspect of others putting that glass dome around you for certain things. You can see it, but none of that. Be careful, don't touch. Kind of aspect, and setting essentially kind of what I heard there was, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but setting limitations on you in a way that isn't malicious, but for safety. And maybe, you might not be ready.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I've never really dove into, funny being the psychology major, I never really dove into that aspect of it. But no, it's an interesting thought.
I like to think I have a minor in psychology just because I dated a lot of girls that were psychology majors. And so I picked up a lot because I had to be able to verbally go with them. Otherwise, it was like, yes, I'm always wrong. You're always right. No problem. So it's interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I really like to ask that question is because we always focus on the good advice. But it's interesting to me personally how what is a good piece of advice can be subjective for certain individuals. And it could be the right piece of advice for you, but it could be the wrong piece of advice for me. And so I'm really curious on those answers. So no, thank you for indulging me there. So
that's interesting.
Here is the last question of the 10. And again, we have a saying, 2030. So I expect you to kind of have an answer for this, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. By that point, and looking at the opportunities that are available, and kind of this trajectory, that I'm finding myself going on. I see myself being at a point in my life where I could retire.
It's got to feel good.
But I want to have that option.
Yeah.
Then meaning that then
Well,
at that
financial
point
freedom.
I can work because I want to.
Yeah, financial freedom, essentially.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Excellent. No,
So I want. Yeah, so I want to be at that point where I can, I mentioned that I want to be that shoulder for the next people to climb on. I want to. By that point, I plan to be at that level.
Gotcha.
Where I can help bring other people up.
Sure.
And,
give back to all the same way people. Yeah. Excellent. No.
Yep.
Good answer. And I know I will be standing right next to you in 10 years later as well, doing the same thing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, man.
All right. Now comes the rapid fire fun part. So I need from you 10 numbers, 1 through 137. And they, as I said, will correlate to another question on that other end. And it's going to be a quick, like, yes or no kind of thing, or just this or that. So I'm ready when you are. What is your first number, sir?
All right. 1.
All right. Keep going. What's your next number?
137.
All right. Next.
Let's go with 77.
By the way, I think I'm going to start playing these numbers as lottery numbers every week and see what happens from what you guys pick.
I think that might be fun too.
So for the fourth number.
If you win, I get a portion.
I was waiting for it. That's business admin 101 right there. Like, is he going to ask for a percentage?
Yeah. We can work out the details later.
My people talk to your people, All right,
I get a referral.
There you go. That's I like that one. Your fourth number.
Let's see. I'll do 55, 69, 121, 101.
All right. Got 3 more.
98.
All right.
15.
Okay.
And 42.
All right. Interesting. Only 3 numbers on the south side of 50. Everything was above. Very interesting to me. I'm one of those people. So I look at all the things and I'm like, all right, so you're picking in this cluster. Oh, you're picking in that cluster. Okay, so we're going to start.
I try to vary it a
bit. You thought you did. That's the funny thing. we all have patterns that we don't even realize in ourselves. So your first question, you gave me question number 1 is what you wanted, and that is the internet splitter of, does Sean prefer a dog or a cat?
Dog.
Do you like cats? Like, if your partner brought a cat home, would you be like, oh, okay, or would you be like, what?
I've met cool cats.
Wait, stop right there. So you met cool cats that are like,
I consider myself a cool cat.
All right, now we're getting into dad joke era. I was trying to steer away from that land, but is it so? I understand that. Oh, I've met cool cats. Are cats like dogs? Is that why they're cool? Are the cats that you like are like? Okay, yes. That's what I just wanted to point out.
Yeah, okay. Basically.
All right, we're gonna move on to number 137. So you're done. I love it, appreciate it. Same thing. Unapologetic about it as well. I can make a derogatory comment, but I'm not going to about what kind of cats I like. So number 137 was the number you asked for question 2. Yeah, sorry. This is another one of those that can split the people, iPhone or Android?
Ooh, this is actually interesting for me. I used to be 100% Android. My friends would give me a hard time. And then earlier this year, I switched to
Really?
iPhone, and
Usually it seems like it's the
yeah,
opposite.
and I'm
That
like,
it's
oh,
that it's a lot of people started off as or iPhone and then switched to Android and are like, I'm never going back. But you went the opposite.
I went the other way. Yeah. I think what made a big difference for me is that a lot of my friends have iPhones, and there's a lot of perks for
Inner iPhone.
like
Yeah,
talking with other iPhone
yeah.
users. Yeah. Like being able to share files back and forth, like nothing. The texting is better.
That's how Apple
So
gets you.
it kind of just made
How
sense.
Apple gets you.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're doing it right.
Job
They know what
is
they're doing, and they're doing it right.
laughing like, yep, excellent. Because everything,
Yeah, they got me.
yes,
They got
awesome, excellent. All right. So our third question, you asked for number 77. Number 77 is, what portion of $1 billion, a billion with a B, would you give to charity? I gave you $1 billion, tax free. We're going to make it that way. What would you give to charity?
Jeez. I mean, that's $1 billion is so much money.
Yeah, this is a greed test.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, the funny thing is too is because it's like I feel like I don't have a good gauge for this because I live a pretty modest life so
Sure.
far. So probably like 2%. No, like honestly, I
Like you want to be an oil baron there?
It's weird because it's like
2%, you get nothing.
right. With more money comes more problems.
Yes.
So I don't really know what it's like. So I'm just gonna say, like, I mean, based on what I know right now, like 80 to 90%, I would be
okay with giving to charity.
fine with.
Yeah, I mean, what 10% is what, a cool 100 million, right?
Like
No. Then again,
that's
one of those. That's the greed test, because if you're only 10%, like you really need $900 million.
Right, exactly. No, it's like 100 million is like that's an unfathomable amount of money. So
yeah. No, good answer. And I wasn't thinking you were going to be like, I'll give $200,000 to charity, and it has to be dispersed over 30 years. And what but so our fourth question, you asked for number 55. And this is going to be an interesting one because of the time we're in right now. But movie at home or movie at the theater?
Oh, nothing compares to a movie at the theater. I'm really big into the Marvel movies, and seeing both Infinity War and Endgame. I saw those the midnight premiere. The energy in those theaters, everybody cheering along to all their favorite characters and all the the jokes and everything. That's something you just can't get at home. I even still will. There's like YouTube videos of like audience reactions from those nights. And,
are you looking for?
Yeah, but sometimes I'll go back and. Yeah, right. Like, here I am. No, I'll go back to relive those moments because it's such a it's just something else.
Well, it's a shared experience, which makes it that much different and unique and almost more energetic and powerful. So no, I like that. That's an interesting answer to the reason why. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, for our fifth question, you went the route of number 6969, and that is a sweater or a hoodie. What are you? What do you prefer? It's cold outside. You grabbing the sweater or you grabbing a hoodie?
Hoodie.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's either or. There are some people that would be, are sweater guys. I am not one of them. It's got to be Christmas, and I got to be.
I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm getting more sweaters.
Don't get the ones with the patches, man. Don't. You got the joke already. Don't go all the way to do that. All right, because then it's going to be. Oh, it didn't work.
Yeah, I won't go that far.
Okay,
Don't
good.
worry.
All right, so number 6 was number 121. What job would you be absolutely horrible at? If you got assigned a job, what's the worst job that you would be horrible if they made me this? I can't be an NBA center. I don't got the size.
Jeez.
Among other things.
Man, there are so many things that are coming right now. I'm arachnophobic, so anything that would involve me crawling into spaces with spider webs and stuff, if I had to crawl through,
don't make you a Terminator then
to do plumbing or anything. Yeah, exactly. No,
gotcha.
I would nope right out of that.
I'll keep in confidence the story and the battle you're having with your spider friend that we talked about earlier.
That's great. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. All right. So 7th question. You asked for number 101. This is going to be an interesting one. If you were to ever write a book, what genre would it be?
Oh, geez. Man, I hate writing.
So picture book, maybe.
So it would probably be like a children's book. Something with very few words. And a lot of pictures.
Positive message and pictures, and we're good to go, right?
Yeah, exactly. Actually probably something illustrating the importance of realizing that you are in control of your life.
Yep.
You got your hands on the wheel.
I'm going to be looking for that to hit the e-shelves, next fall, and the illustrated book by Mr. Sean Pierce. So, exactly. For number 8, you asked for 98. Do you wash your dishes right after you eat? Or do you pile them up and then put them in a dishwasher or wash them? So are you, as soon as I use it, I clean it and I'm done, or I don't need to do it right now, just leave it in the sink?
I try to do it right.
No, tell the truth.
But usually it's the next day. I don't let it pile up multiple days. I'll do it next day.
It's not where we're gonna have you pull a plate and there's a cup on it and you flip it over and the cup stays. We're not talking it gets that bad.
In college it was that bad. Okay. I've learned since then. I've grown.
All right. So we are down to the last 2. Number 9. You asked for number 15. Do you consider yourself to prefer more of the high-tech life or the low-tech? Technology can help us, but are you obsessed about it and need the newest, biggest thing, or you like the old school aspect and yes, utilize technology, but is not your main thing?
I'd probably have to. I definitely appreciate nature, going out and camping. 2 years ago, I camped out in Costa Rica for a music festival, and that was awesome. I'm gonna have to go with technology. I build computers.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So, kind of hard to do that with sticks and twigs and rocks and whatnot. All right. Our last question of the interview here. Pancakes or waffles, sir? Hard-hitting journalism. Pancakes or waffles?
And this one gets really divisive.
A crepe. We'll go get crazy with the crepe. Pancakes, waffles, or crepes.
I feel like anyone who says crepes is just because they're too scared to take a side on pancakes.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm just gonna go out and say I'm gonna
pancakes or waffles.
Pancakes, man. I love me some pancakes. I feel like I'm going to go in a little bit more detail into this too. I think waffles have a higher floor. So like you can have some really bad pancakes, but like bad waffles are still pretty good. But I think pancakes have a higher floor. You get like those really like fluffy, huge.
That's what I wanted to ask you now is to, my two-parter to that then is bean pancakes. Are we talking the silver dollar pancakes or are we talking stacks? We want, and then is it the whole butter and syrup all going over it and then the last question on top of that is it fruit or no fruit? Like in the pancakes, like a blueberry pancake or just plain old pancake?
No, I do like stuff like blueberry pancakes are great. I mean, geez, there's so many things you can do with it. I mean, you got Nutella and bananas on there. Get some powdered sugar on there. There's just so many great things. So I like that you can go more like fruit and fool yourself that you're being healthier because you got strawberries on there. Or you can just go all out dessert, not hiding anything, and just
small lime or.
I tend to like I like the more smaller size, yeah, because then you can also have varieties.
Excellent. Yes, exactly. All right, well, Sean, that concludes the 20 questions. Before I let you go, though, where can the people find you? What's your social media? Where can they get a hold of you? Interested in you helping them during whatever the real estate goals are, finding a place, buying a place, selling a place. Where can they get a hold of you, Mr. Pierce?
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to get in touch with me is through Instagram. You'll find me at sean.pierce.realestate.
Okay, I'll put everything in the details as well.
Or if you look me up as Sean Pierce. Oh, cool. Yeah, I it's SoCal Homes. So, yeah, you see me on there. You can get in touch with me. I also have in my bio, there's a link that goes to all other places where you can find me. So I think that's the best place.
Excellent. Perfect. And you mentioned, I thought, something that you're thinking about having is it a YouTube channel coming up shortly? You're thinking possibly?
Yeah, that's something I'm working on. Yeah. So that
we'll keep our eyes out for that. And everything, and more than happy to support you in that aspect and that run as well. But thank you very much for taking the time, running through the 20 question gauntlet and everything. I had fun. I got to learn a little bit more about you, and I really appreciate you for coming on, and I look forward to following up in a year or two, and maybe asking some same questions, different questions, but seeing the growth.
Hey, yeah, I like that idea, man. Thank you so much for having me on here. This was awesome. I had a great time.
Excellent.
I had a blast.
Thanks again, Sean. And everyone, please check out Sean Pierce on Instagram. SoCal Homes, was it you said? Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time.